Django Unchained gave us revenge. But what if it gave us more? We watched him ride through fire and fury, a black gunslinger with nothing left to lose. Django burned Candyland to the ground, rescued the woman they tried to erase, and rode off into the unknown like a legend out of time. But what happened after the blood dried? Did he find peace, or just more war? Did Broomhilda get the fairy tale ending, or a front row seat to more pain? History never told their story. Hollywood rolled credits before the dust even settled, but not here. This is the untold chapter of Django Freeman, the hunted outlaw who became a myth, of Broomhilda, the enslaved woman who rose into power, motherhood, and legacy. A love story forged in fire, a black Western that didn't end with revenge, but with revolution. This is what happened after Django rode away. This is What If, the Django legacy.
Every single word that came out of Calvin Candy's mouth was nothing but horseshit. But he was right about one thing. I am that one nigga in 10,000.
We all know the legend, Django, the freed man turned bounty hunter who rode into hell to rescue his wife and burn Candyland to the ground. But what happens after the fire? What happens when the blood dries and the smoke clears? What happens when Django and Broomhilda ride off into the night? We're about to find out. This is the story of what could have happened next, after Django Unchained.
Django! You uppity son of a...
Winter 1859. Django, early 30s, and Broomhilda, late 20s, flee west, evading bounty hunters and surviving off Dr. Schultz's gold. Django assumes the name Stephen Freeman. Broomhilda takes on Rose Freeman. They settle outside Dodge City, Kansas, lawless enough to disappear, fertile enough to survive. Django struggles with nightmares, violence addiction, and survivor's guilt. Broomhilda pushes for peace, but the trauma between them simmers. The Lee Quint Dickey mining cone sends enforcers after Django. Calvin Candy's cousin, Major Archibald Candy, places a private bounty. Django takes out 3 bounty hunters in one night. Word spreads, the black ghost of Mississippi rides again. Civil War begins, 1861. Django is recruited by a black Union spy ring called the Undercurrent. He's promised protection and land in return for missions behind Confederate lines. Broomhilda becomes a clandestine schoolteacher for freed black children in Missouri. Eventually opens a secret shelter for escapees called Rose Haven. Django loses himself again in violence. Hildy nearly leaves him after learning he executed unarmed men during a mission. Their love is tested, then renewed during the Battle of Vicksburg when Django risks his life to evacuate her safe house. End of war, 1865. Django is honored by General Ulysses S. Grant under his alias. He declines official recognition, knowing peace won't last. Relationships. Django becomes close to Captain Ezekiel Holt, a freedman soldier-turned-strategist. Hildy meets Harriet Jacobs, real-life abolitionist writer who inspires her activism. The Reconstruction era. Django and Broomhilda move to Oklahoma Territory under the Homestead Act. They farm and raise 2 children, Augustus and Clara. Klan resurgence forces Django to defend their land. Broomhilda becomes a known speaker against racial terror. Booker T. Washington cites her letters decades later. Django's deepest shame remains: killing Stephen, a man who represented everything Django hated and feared becoming. Final showdown. Major Candy returns, scarred, psychotic, with ex-Confederate mercenaries. Django kills him in a brutal ambush, but loses his right hand. Later life. Django becomes a ghost story in the West. The black cowboy who couldn't be killed. He trains young black outlaws and becomes a folk hero. Broomhilda writes a memoir under the pseudonym Rose Tilden. It becomes an underground bestseller, later uncovered by Zora Neale Hurston in the 1930s. Death. Django dies at 65, circa 1893, defending a Mexican town from American raiders. His grave reads, "A free man died standing." Legacy. Their son becomes a senator in 1912. Their daughter founds one of Oklahoma's first black schools. Django didn't just ride off into the sunset. He carried every scar, every ghost, every bullet, every sin, and still dared to build something real, a family, a legacy, a life of his own choosing. And Broomhilda? She didn't fade into the background. She lit fires. She raised a new generation of warriors with books, not bullets. Together, they carved a future from the ashes of a past meant to destroy them. But now it's your turn. What do you think happened to Django and Hildy? Could Django have become a legend like John Henry, Nat Love, or Bass Reeves? Drop your theories in the comments. Like this video if you believe their story deserved more than just a ride into the dark. And don't forget to subscribe to Real Reelz for more stories that rewrite the endings and reimagine the icons. Because freedom isn't just about escape, it's about what you build after.